Our multimedia franchise consists of a children's book, a theme park, and a game. The overarching story is about a young boy, Timmy, who finds a time machine and travels back in time to have some great adventures. Each platform enhances this story world through their own media specificities. I personally created the game, which is a role-playing game. To start all the way at the beginning of the experience, which is the purchase of the game. The game will be available for PC, mobile, and Nintendo devices and will be $3. This way the kids can purchase the game with their own pocket money. The icon used for the app and the Steam download are the same as the logo used by the other platforms. The title screen of the game is purposely similar to the cover of the book to remind the player of the connection there. The narrative of the game picks up after Timmy's adventure in the book, which is why he recognizes Danny. There are several references in the dialogue that refer to this previous adventure, but the game does not rely on this other narrative. This makes that the player can play the game without having read the books first. This ties in with some strategic considerations. The target audience for the game is a bit older than the other media, which is around 12 years old. This way, children can grow old with the franchise, which has proven to be lucrative. Look at Harry Potter, where we can see the characters grow up and get on more complex adventures. This is also what happens in the game. The narrative is more complicated than in the books and the subjects are more serious. For example, Danny's mother tells a story about the death of Danny's father. The fact that the game is more complex and stands on its own also creates an entry point into the world for an older demographic that did not grow up with the books. The game adds to the story world in several ways. It lets the player explore the world they are already somewhat familiar with. By doing this, they unlock new information. The player meets new characters, such as Danny's mother, his grandfather, the shaman, and the guard. This experience of the world is also expanded because now the player can make their own decisions. The player is completely free to roam the world, but the narrative structure still tells a story and pushes the player in certain directions. The aesthetic of the game is supposed to look similar to the book and the theme park. The map of the theme park is the same as the map on the game, and the characters are drawn in similar styles as in the book. All the characters I've drawn myself on Adobe Illustrator, and I imported them into the game. I also tried to incorporate the same flashy colors into the design. The characters use the same catchphrases as in the book. One strong example is when you open the game, you hear Timmy's catchphrase that is strategically dispersed over all platforms.